Is it healthy to keep track of what your partner does? I am Miriam Asif, Commander Mimi on social media, and this is my husband,
Joey, Poker Bubble.
Poker Bubble. And this whole thing is for you guys to fight less and connect more. This is a concern that I've been hearing about a bunch, and we filmed another video talking about fairness. If your relationship isn't fair, if you don't know what to do, watch that video.
Got a baby running around.
We have a little baby running around, so our eyes are kind of like going towards her.
She's just drinking her coffee.
It's both ways. So I've heard some people saying like, you know, I don't think that my relationship is fair, so I'm like keeping track of what my partner does, and they're not giving me, and like I feel like I'm putting in too much, and they're not giving me back enough. Like I'm just doing way more. So are they really doing all that they say they're doing? Because they say that they're doing this. So let me keep track. You know, let me keep track.
Yeah, I just think it's like a symptom of a bigger issue. Like if people need to know where you're at all time because they don't trust that you're, you know, being faithful. Maybe like needing to keep track of everything we're doing just seems, a bigger issue of maybe they don't have trust that you have the other person in mind, that you're trying to, like, they're not gonna take advantage of you, that you trust the other person, that they're not gonna take advantage of you and just make you do everything and try to do nothing. So yeah, it just seems like a symptom of like self-defense against a bigger issue of the relationship.
And it makes sense that if you're feeling like you have been giving too much and you being taken advantage, that you start wanting to do that, wanting to keep track as a defense. But as science goes, if we start like focusing too much on, they call it the exchange focus, like are we, like, our exchange, is it fair, is it even, then you're communicating I don't trust you, which you probably don't. and I mean, a relationship is all about trust and building trust. Without trust, you can't have a healthy relationship. But okay, let's say you're starting to feel like you're not like trusting your partner, that maybe you're giving in too much. I would say instead of focusing on what your partner does or doesn't do, on the exchange, is it fair, is it even, and we kind of talked about this a little bit on the other video, I would change the focus into, okay, what do I need to thrive, and how can I, maybe I'm needing more time, maybe I'm needing more this, because I'm feeling pretty overwhelmed, I'm feeling pretty drained, right, or just even trapped with this lifestyle that we have. So instead of, okay, now I'm going to keep track of what you do, are you really doing the same as I'm doing, it would be more an approach. I just really believe in what we focus matters. So I tend to focus more on needs and always communicating trust. Like, I want to trust you.
He likes to attack.
So I would focus again on needs and boundaries and feelings. Like, what do I want to feel? How do I want to feel? So I would, if I started to feel like the exchange wasn't equal, I would definitely approach it more as, hey, you know what, I'm needing some time for myself, I'm needing some hugs, I'm needing some words of reassurance, what do I need? So coming from a vulnerable place and asking him about to help me with my needs.
Yeah, I think I just try to do as much as I can that I feel happy and fulfilled for the best of the relationship, and maybe request. If I think, okay, I want to do all this, I'm not going to do less because I think you're not doing enough. I'll do as much as I feel happy and can do without getting overwhelmed. And then maybe I can request, like, hey, yeah, I'm trying to do this. I want to do this for us. Do you think maybe you could do this to help me feel taken care of, I guess? What is the word?
Yeah.
So not do less just because, but yeah, I mean, if you request something, they're like, no, I don't want to do that, then maybe be like, okay, well, maybe, you know, I'm doing these things, maybe I'll just not do this, so I don't feel like I'm just have most of the load.
Yeah, because that's the thing. If you want to do like all these things and you're carrying all this load, either to thrive, and that's kind of how I explain to my clients, to thrive, you may want to take some things off your plate and you would feel a lot better. But maybe you don't want to. You actually want to do all those things.
And that probably shouldn't be the first option. Like, I'm gonna do less. Like, maybe they're not aware. Maybe they're busy or have so much on their mind that
which has happened to us.
You're hungry? Okay, well, I don't think doing less should be the first. It may be just, if the other person is like, no, I don't want to, you're with a person who's like, I don't want to clean at all, nothing in the house. When it's like, all right, well, maybe I'm not going to clean either. And we just split, but I can't live in a dirty house. So we're going to have to split the cost in hiring someone. Because if you decide I don't want to clean, well, I'm not going to clean either. Because I don't want to do everything, but like, I'd be more than happy to do half or do all this. But of course, if it's two-sided, so I'm not gonna live in this dirty house, but hey, if you don't want to clean, you're just gonna have to split the cost with me of a cleaner.
But see, a lot of people get into that argument into, okay, you're not gonna do this and I'm gonna solve it my way and I'm just gonna do this, and they kind of like step back. But with that attitude, that shielded attitude, I just think that I've done that in past relationships, and that does separate you little by little, but you're still in a relationship that you are unfulfilled, and that doesn't really drive you to build the dynamics that you want. So instead, I prefer the vulnerable, because it's really not driving you towards a relationship that you want at all. It's just driving you to stay into a relationship that you're not happy with.
Well, I guess you could find another, like, okay, I mean, you need a partner that's open to working and doing, right? So it's like, okay, if you don't want to clean, okay, like maybe I don't want to cook, so you cook and I clean, like finding. You do need to be with a partner that's open to working with you, because again,
Exactly.
if you're with someone that doesn't want to do anything, that's the issue.
That's the issue.
The person just wants you to do everything, just taking advantage of you. So this works with a partner that wants the relationship to work and is there to support you and be, make it work. So if you're with someone at work, there must be ways. And again, maybe they're like, well, I don't want to do any, but I have money. I'll pay someone to do all this stuff. We got all the babies in the house.
So looking back into those relationships, I think that the best route, how I like to now, like the script that I have, how I like to handle things, are just being aware of your needs. Give the baby a rock. Validate what the other person like needs, because I mean that paves the way into helping them hear you out. So if the other person if you didn't want to work with me, I would be like, okay, I can maybe see that you're overwhelmed, right? Because it might probably be because of that. If you didn't want to work with me, you'd be like, no, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to do that,
Yeah, I just don't want to work out.
Okay,
I mean, some people aren't meant for each other.
Exactly, and that's a big thing. Like, okay, I can see that you don't want to do that, and I probably get that. Like, you probably want to thrive doing this, right? Or just having this type of life. Yeah. Okay, I see. And
You just got to be, strong enough and get over the fear of like, this may not be the person. I'm
Losing
like,
the
don't get the
person.
fear I'm going to be alone. I'm just going
Yeah.
to stick with this person, because some people
Yeah.
are just not meant for each other.
Exactly, and they just really want to make it work, and you can people are amazing, like people, when you get to know someone, they're amazing, but just because someone is amazing doesn't mean that it's going to be the right partner for you, and it's really going to work as a team with you, or that you can maybe work things out, but if he had he really didn't want to do something just because I want this type of lifestyle, maybe we could make it work out, but we would have conflicts. We would have perpetual conflicts. Why? Because he would probably want to have a more chill life, and I would want to have like this whole world, and so we would be like clashing, because I'd be like, work with me. He's like, oh, I don't want to. I really don't thrive doing everything that you want to do. And the whole point is about that both of you thrive in life and in the relationship. So either you would have to compromise, and a lot of people talk about compromise, but I have been in relationships that I was like trying to compromise, and this is the life you want, and you start like compromising, meeting halfway, right? And then you're like way off the life you wanted to live. That partner wasn't for you. That's just what it is sometimes. When I see clients, I'm looking, and they're trying to look for a compromise because you cannot achieve a win-win. Like, let's first try to achieve a win-win. What's a win for you? What's your dream lifestyle? And what's your dream lifestyle for you? Can we make those happen so we don't have to like compromise or give in or meet in the middle? Some situations there is an impossible way to get a win-win. So both of them have to wiggle a little bit to find that compromise.
She's trying to climb the stairs.
It's crazy. And that might be okay once, but now I really, whenever people want to try for a compromise, the question is it a really fulfilling compromise? Can you live with this compromise? Because if you don't feel fulfilled and you feel like you have to give in, that little by little, that adds up.
And see, like symptoms, like yeah, like if it's one or two or three things, okay. But like yeah, if you got to count what what each of you do, like that's one symptom of an issue. And then if you got to compromise a bunch, that's another. So it's another symptom. So maybe one thing doesn't mean, you know, the relationship isn't okay if you got to compromise once in a while. But it's kind of like the build up. You know, if you see multiple different things like that happening, like there are, I think, just symptoms of bigger issues in a relationship that. No relationship is, I guess, perfect. Maybe there's one little thing, or once in a while, just you have different interests. But the rest of the relationship is great, so you're fine. But maybe in some interests it's different, so you got to compromise there. But yeah, if you just got to be compromising over everything, and you just can't do things you really like to do, and you got to make sure they're doing stuff, or if you're not doing, it's like
little by little.
Yeah, it's just it builds up and
then one day, and that's the thing, like some people just wake up one day and they're like, what type of life am I living? Like, this is not the life that I wanted to live, because you've been compromising for that long. But the whole point is that if you feel like you're having to keep track, like, is this really, like, is the exchange fair? Am I having to compromise too much? Am I that you're not focusing on your needs and requesting needs? You're not focusing on building trust. Again, I would be like, okay, this is it seems like this is, you really don't want to do this. And then, like, your vulnerable request, and I want to trust you. I want to build a relationship where we can trust each other. Yeah, okay, this is the life you want, right? Okay, I want you to get that. I want you to get that. And this is a life that I want. Would you work with me so that I can also get the life that I want? And maybe the other person says, I really want you to get what you want, I just can't give it. And then you realize, that I can't, or I can't without, like, I would want to, but if I do it, I know that I would be paying a high price. I'd be drained. I'd feel trapped. And maybe they can try it.
So nerve-wracking.
Sometimes the other person, like, I realize, like, I'm just not willing to give that. Like, I know that if I do, I want to make you happy, but if I do, I know that I would be feeling drained my whole life. I would know that I'd be feeling trapped. Like, that's not the life that I want. So maybe the best solution, and you move on into the action, the best solution would be to just go part ways.
I think it's a big part, kind of, we were talking about the other day, like how people, like, usually human beings in general are like risk averse. So doing that is taking a big risk, because maybe you're okay with this person, like, you could be the rest of your life with them and you'll be okay. But like, what if you decide, it's not like your dream relationship, that maybe something's out there, but you are taking that risk. Where if you leave him and you're on your own, and then you gotta on your own, and maybe you don't find someone.
Maybe you never find someone.
So I do think just human nature being risk averse, that's why you really gotta, push yourself and have some guts, and don't let your fears take over, because it is really scary. Just knowing like maybe I'll be okay with this person for the rest of my life. I just maybe won't be able to do a lot of things I want to, but I'll be fine. I'll be okay. Compared to way better this relationship than being alone. I prefer this than alone. So I definitely think a big factor is that, because I'm pretty sure if everyone knew, okay, if I break this person, someone's right there, and I'm gonna find someone better for me 100%. It'll be a lot easier, and a lot more people would do it. But it's just a fear of being alone. Like, that's better than being alone. So you may be giving up something and end up with worse.
So that's presenting one option. That one option would be like, yeah, we trust each other. We trust that, I want you to be happy. I want to be happy. But, our needs aren't working. So the best would be maybe to split up, and both people find that happy breakup. When those happy breakups, when people realize,
Let me get for her.
Okay. So the happy breakup is one option, and the other one is when the other person is, like, really not willing to work with you. They're just like, no, well, I want to build a relationship, and we can trust each other, and I really want to know that you have my best interest in mind. And they're like, yeah, well, I don't care. Okay, then you got your answer.
Yeah, they don't care for how that's got to be over. Like, at least I can imagine being in a relationship that someone doesn't care. What you want, or
when they really communicate that they're not looking after you, then there's no trust. What trust is like the building block of a relationship, and what trust means
That baby.
When I'm communicating, trust me, what I'm saying is, I got your back. I'm thinking about you having a fulfilling life. I want you to have what you want. I want your needs to be fulfilled. And when I communicate that, not necessarily with words, but with actions and body language and everything that I'm saying, like in between lines, then we build trust. Then he trusts me. When the opposite is true, when I'm saying, you know, I don't care about your best interest. This is what I need. This is what I want, and whatever you think, you know, whatever. So instead of like the first reaction that you had of like, oh yeah, no, then I'm just gonna do my own thing. I'm gonna solve it on my own. You're still not communicating trust, right? And that's how, like, little by little the relationship starts breaking apart. But sometimes the problem that I see is that breaking apart can take years, and people can feel very alone in that relationship. So now that, you know, after studying a lot about relationships, it's just way better from the get-go to just be vulnerable and just realize that what you want to build in this relationship is trust that that person has your best interest in mind, and you want to communicate, hey, I want the best for you. If this is not the life for you, maybe it's you know, seeking it somewhere else because I'm not willing or I can't give this to you. I'm sorry, like, I want it to work out. And then the other person either says, oh, okay, yeah, I want the best for you, let's work it, or I'm not gonna work with you. And then you got your answer. You can make better, more educated choices about what to do with your life and what is going to give you a fulfilling life. But the initial question, which is it healthy? For me, what healthy means is I'm thriving. I'm really feeling full of life. That's healthy. The middle is stagnation. It's not healthy when you're just stuck. And the other one is when something's toxic, when something's just building up constantly, negative emotions building up for you. And that depends on the person. So is it healthy really to keep track of each other? I don't think so. That is not going to build a relationship that you want. But if instead you focus on your needs to feel fulfilled, what do I need? I'm not feeling well right now in this relationship. What would I need to feel fulfilled? Hey, maybe I would need, you know, more time for this or that. And you focus on that, then you are definitely building the path towards a thriving life, because you're focusing on what do I need to thrive. And that's how you're approaching. That's how you're being vulnerable with them, and you're just letting them choose, you know, giving them the power of choice of like, okay, what then do you need to thrive? Would that be something that you'd be willing to give to me without you feeling drained or trapped or unhappy, like unfulfilled? Can you do that for me? You get your answer, and then you figure out how you can get into action to problem solve. Does that feel better for you too? Like that answer? Is that I think more clear? Like if you focus, like the focus on like on the exchange rather than
What
focusing on what do I need, and just allowing the person to make their choice. Yeah, because the other route is more defensive.
Yeah, I do think my reaction when upset is going to be
You're working on that. Let us know if you have any questions. Let us know in the comments. Please share if you think this is helpful for someone. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so that you get notifications. We'll see you next week with a different topic. Bye-bye.